Bill, thank you so much for being my guest today.
My pleasure.
So, tell us how you got started playing poker.
I got started playing poker about 10 years ago. I went out to dinner for my birthday with 3 of my closest friends and our women, and we were seated at a table with Lee Jones, who subsequently has become famous being the PokerStar's card room manager and other things. But I was with Lee and his wife, and for some reason the 8 of us were sitting there, and he was talking poker, and we couldn't believe it. We thought, I was maybe like 28 at the time, 30 at the time. We thought that gambling was illegal in California. We lived in the Bay Area. He said, "Oh no, poker's legal. There are poker rooms. There's even one in your hometown," he told us. We're like, "What?" And so the 3 men, we just badgered him the whole time, and our women stereotypically were bored throughout that whole conversation. But that's what got me started, and my 2 good friends, Art and Jeff, would go out. The 3 of us would play poker occasionally, and I'd play till I got tired, and they'd play till they had to get to work in the morning, and that's what started me. I loved it. I don't know if I really started winning at the start. I was probably about to break even at the start, but loved it. And when it occurred to me it was possible to make a living doing that, I couldn't imagine doing anything more fun, so I decided to pursue it.
So this was after you had a law degree?
No, this was before, actually. I was working at Pacific Bell from the age of 22 to the age of 30, so this must have been just before that. And I liked it there. I was in finance and did fine, but knew I didn't want to spend the rest of my life at the phone company, and some people get kind of hooked in. So I went to law school just looking to find what I might want to do, thinking that...
Besides, law school's easy, right?
Law school was not difficult. But I knew pretty quickly after starting at law school that I'd never practice. But I did finish and get my degree. And it is for sale. I've got a beautiful diploma. $50 for my degree, anyone interested?
I would take it.
$75 for you.
So when did you realize poker was going to be a serious part of your life? Was it after some significant wins?
Oh, no, hardly. When I got out of school, law school, in about 96, wow, 12 years ago, I went directly to work at a place called Casino San Pablo, which is in the East Bay, San Francisco area. And I played as a prop player, so they paid me an hourly wage to play on whatever games they wanted.
And why did they choose you to be a prop player? Were you consistently winning in that room?
No, they just want warm bodies, people who aren't... Who can probably be at least break even just to be able to earn their paycheck, and people who won't be too offensive, so it's not difficult to get a prop job.
Okay, and then after that, what did you do in terms of poker? How did you start thinking that you wanted to do this professionally? Well,
technically that was professionally. That's how I made my money, even though it was very small stakes. I guess I mostly played in the 20-40 game at that time, which maybe I guess back in those would be more considered medium stakes. There were a ton of good players in the Bay Area that I played against, so I learned a lot from them. I guess principally the man from whom I learned the most was Todd Cakewan. You all may know the Cakewan brothers. They play some tournament poker, but are fantastic top flight players. From the beginning, I was a profitable player. I wasn't terrific, but I was good enough that I was making a living and enjoying it. And so...
Were you mentored by anyone?
No. I read and thought about the game and tried to learn from my mistakes and watch the better players play. I can't say that I ever really had a mentor. Then probably the thing that changed my life and others, of course, was the invention of poker on the internet. That allowed me to travel. I lived outside the country for a while, still played, and got to play a lot more hands that way, and I'm sure I became a lot better player that way. And I just started with the poker tournament circuit 2.5 years ago in the summer of, whatever that is, '05. So I love tournaments. I prefer that to cash games.
When did you decide to move to Las Vegas?
I came to Vegas about 4 or 5 years ago. But that's what I had been living in the Caribbean and didn't really know where to come here, and kind of chose this because I had some friends here. I mentioned Todd. Of course, you all know Eric Lindgren is one of my closest friends. He lived here, so I kind of just randomly chose it. I live here now because I am now married, and if you're going to play the tournament circuit, I really think there's only one place to live if you're married and have a family, and that's Las Vegas, because there are so many tournaments played on the Strip. And so you can have more family time, some more home time if you live in Vegas.
Do you dabble in any other gambling?
Yeah, I'm a degenerate, so I'll bet on anything. But the only thing I take seriously and actually do profitably is college football.
College football?
That's my real passion. I was sitting alone in my backyard having coffee day, just thinking of how I was going to do it even better next year. But it has my attention even in February.
Who's your team?
I don't have a team.
You don't have a team?
Whoever I'm betting on in that game. 119 teams, 120 next year. I'm excited. There's one more team to bet on. I really just don't care. I went to Cal for my law degree, so if there's any team I kind of root for, it would be the Bears, but not particularly, to be honest.
So how did you, when you started playing poker, how did you build your bankroll?
Well, being a prop, they pay you reasonably well if you're going to play at those medium stakes. And so I guess the pay paid the bills, and then the gambling earnings, the poker earnings, built the bankroll.
And when you decided to start the tournament circuit, was it a hard transition from cash games to tournaments for you?
It was easy in terms of passion for it. I loved it. My personality fits much better with tournaments. I like the winning and the losing. Of course, tournament poker is a lot of losing. A top player can go a whole year and not win a tournament, and there's just so much short-term luck involved. Even the best player might have a year like that, or will have a year like that probably. So you have to have the right personality. But I like that. Everyone knows that. Who knows me well probably thinks I have too big of an ego. So I don't know. Maybe it's good for me to get to play a game that's sometimes humbling and sometimes humiliating. But I like that about tournament poker. And so playing in a cash game, really the only way to look at it is probably as one long game. You can't really get too caught up on whether you won or lost today. But in poker, in tournament poker, it is about winning and losing. That suits me just fine. I love it that way.
What would you say your best Las Vegas moment is in poker? Was it winning your bracelet this
Yeah,
summer?
I mean, that's a boring answer. It probably has to be winning my first bracelet last summer. Although, the first thing that popped into my mind when you said that was when I first started playing in '05. They had these things called the Ultimate Poker Challenge downtown at the lovely...
Binions?
No, what's the one at the end? Plaza. The Plaza, it's still called the Plaza? The one that's at the end of Fremont Street.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they had real small fields, but they were televised. And I'm a ham, so I got a kick out of that. And I won 2 of them. One had like a field of 63, and the other had like a field of 33. But when
was
I won
that
them,
your first time on TV?
it was my first time on TV, and to win them both against actually good fields and tough opponents, that may have been as big a thrill relatively as winning the bracelet was. But if you're a poker player, winning a bracelet is, of course, going to be the high point of your career.
So then you decided to get on TV again and win a World Poker Tour event.
Yeah, I decided that after playing quite a few World Poker Tours and not deciding to win, I decided it was about time. It was that tournament I'm sheepish about. I played well at the end, I think, but I was down to 2 chips and had to have a lot of blind luck to get back into the tournament, and did. So
what's life like being in Las Vegas and being a poker professional? Is it what you've always thought your life would be, or?
No.
Is it kind of a dream, or is it harder than people think?
Both. The honest answer is that I'm sure it's harder than people think. However, the truly honest answer is anyone who does it and has had some success at it has to have a lot of gall to complain about it. It's a wonderful thing to be able to travel. I love to travel, to be able to compete, to do what you like. There are a lot of down moments. A couple times last year I flew all the way across the country to Atlantic City only to lose just immediately and fly back. I mean, that's no fun, but to have it in that perspective, I've worked in the real world, and I know how most people's lives are. Even my bad days are pretty wonderful.